Get ready, Staten Island.
The Ferry Hawks host the Hagerstown Flying Boxcars. Tonight at 7 p.m., it's soccer night, and kids glow around the bases postgame. Saturday at 6:30, it's Broadway night with postgame fireworks and Broadway rave. Sunday at 1:30, it's Military Appreciation Day, and the kids run around the bases.
A great day out for the entire family. Kids run the bases after every Sunday home game. Want the best seats all season? Get more Ferry Hawks for only $63. Visit ferryhawks.com now to lock in your seats.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Well, just in the middle of what we were talking about, there is an announcement from Pakistan that a deal has been reached, and the official signing ceremony will be on Friday, the 19th of June in Switzerland. And Pakistan goes on to thank the United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran for their commitment to finding a diplomatic solution to the conflict. There is no additional detail on what the deal is. We have the same outline that we had earlier on, which basically says ceasefire will continue for 60 days, open the Strait of Hormuz, and we'll talk about everything else during the next 60 days. I think politically the president needed to say this is over for the American people. I think what the contents of the deal were less important to the American people, and opening the Strait of Hormuz was the big sign that there'll be a return to normalcy, and then people will hope that the prices come down. That's my take on it. But that's happening right now. So let's go to Nazee Moinian, Professor Nazee Moinian, who was raised in Tehran. Nazee emigrated with her family to the U.S. at the onset of the '79 revolution. She's a Ph.D. in political science, Iran studies from the University of St. Andrews in Scotland. She's an associate fellow at the Middle East Institute in Washington and completed 2 master's degrees from Columbia University. You need 2 because 1 is never enough. You want 2 master's degrees. Dr. Nazee Moinian, as you just heard, Pakistan says that the deal has been reached. It's no more additional information other than the outline that has been released. What do you make of it? Is it something? Is it nothing? Is it politics? Is it an agreement to agree? Who wins? Who loses?
Thank you, Governor. It's nice to be talking to you again. That's a very generous and kind introduction. I really didn't need 2. I was offered 2 for my great work in grades, and I said, why not? I'll take 2. So that's how that happened. I'm kidding. So, yes, I just heard the same news that you're talking about, that the president of Pakistan just authorized and announced that the prime minister, that there is a deal that is reached and the signing is on Friday, as you said. There are so many things to unpack in this, Governor, and I don't know where to start. First of all, the premise of agreeing to a deal with the Islamic Republic of Iran, to me, it's a little problematic. We have not built enough confidence measures to be able to trust the other side that's sitting at the same table with us on Friday to sign this deal. We have been betrayed by this regime. They have been hostile, both in words and in action. We've lost many service members. We have seen veterans coming back from Iraq because of IEDs that the Iranians planted. It's problematic on many levels. Most of all, there is no trust on either side, and to agree on a deal. And basically, to me, it's a trade deal with a pinky promise by the regime to uphold its end of the bargain. It's going to be signed on Friday. What's going to come out of it, depending on our verification and inspection regime, remains to be seen.
Yeah, I think the president needed it ended politically. he needed the Strait of Hormuz opened. And those were the two important things. So the Strait of Hormuz is reopened. By the way, it was open before we started any of this. If we hadn't done anything, it would have been open. Okay. Now it's reopened. 60 days. We'll talk about the details, and everything is in the details. What agency inspects? What is the actual nuclear agreement? How much money do we give Iran? Right? Those are all the details. We'll talk about that in the next 60 days. But in 60 days, Doctor, nobody's going to remember this. And my guess is in 60 days, they say, we're making great progress. We're going to report back in another 60 days. And they just kick the can down the road because I think Iran has us by the Strait of Hormuz.
I like that analogy. Yes, Iran does have us and the rest of the world by the Strait of Hormuz because that's the transport hub for 20% of the world's oil and petrochemicals. It's always been problematic and dangerous to have a regime like Iran take control, sit at the top of the strait, the chokehold, and rule. And now we see why, because it can use it as a leverage to exact concessions that we were never going to give into if they were not manipulating us through the Strait of Hormuz. So yes, it's a huge leverage. It's a huge bargaining chip. They're using it to best effect. And I want to be optimistic, Governor, because I can't say I do know Trump's modus operandi, but he's a New York guy. He's a real estate New York guy. He's also a successful entrepreneur. He's done many deals. And it behooves me why he chose to signal his desire for this deal or any deal at this moment. I had this discussion with other people like yourself who asked me on media, and I did always say, please hold out. The time is on our side. Iran is bleeding about $500 million a day, between $200 to $500 million a day, by not being able to export oil and chemical. They can't hemorrhage money like this forever. And we are able to withstand economic pain because we're the strongest, most prosperous country in the world. It just behooves me why the president chose to accelerate this the way he did.
Politics, Doctor, politics. Yes, we could withstand the economic pain, but we don't want to. I don't want to pay $5 for a gallon of gas because I didn't even want this war started in the first place.
Yeah.
So no, I don't want to withstand this. End the war. I never asked you to start it. I don't know why you started it. But do whatever you have to do to make it over. And the clock is ticking, and November is coming. And this has to go away before November. And that's why I think the president made the deal. Now, can he punt and keep this ceasefire negotiation get past November and then not have the pressure of the midterms? Yes. Might he do that? Yes. But I think it depends on what political pressure there is. If anybody remembers this in November and there's political pressure, maybe he revisits it. Otherwise, he says, he claims victory. I destroyed everything. And we hurt their nuclear capacity. And the strait is opened again. I won.
Governor, I want to push back on that a bit. He was under no political pressure in 1989 when he took a one-page ad blasting the American foreign policy for playing nice and soft with the Iranian regime. He wanted military action back then. He was not a president. He didn't have a midterm election coming up. But the antipathy towards the regime that was dictating its terms towards a superpower was always with him. And I think the American foreign policy towards Iran needed a course correction. And as much as I hate war, and I've lost many friends in the Women Life Freedom Movement and the 2026 uprisings by the Iranian people in Iran, and it has hurt home. And also many American soldiers and service military persons in Iran, Iraq, and Afghanistan. I don't think he had in mind to enter a war and come out with a bad deal. I really think, and I still do think, that Trump really believes in a pacified region with a pacified regime that furthers the interests of the allies and the West and the Americans. First of all, Iran is in a much worse place than it was before the war. When he says the Navy is at the bottom of the sea, he's not kidding. We talk about the swift boats that are menacing the Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz, but how many of those do they have, and how effective those are? This is an empty theater of war right now for the Americans. Look, they just sent a drone boat to save the 2 Apache helicopters from the Strait of Hormuz. We are far superior, military and otherwise, to whatever the regime can offer. And I think that's what the president was thinking. The president was thinking, once and for all, Iranians need to be taught a lesson, and this is the time to do it. Now, the insistence on a deal is only going to make any sense once we know that Iran is not going to attack with any swift boats, attack Bahrain, Kuwait, any of the Gulf allies, abide by the terms of this regime, by the deal. 60 days is a long time for this regime to behave. It's itching to misbehave, and we are asking for it for 60 days of basically truce to get to the next step. We'll see. I have confidence on the American side. I don't have confidence that the Iranians will pull through.
Yeah. Well, we will see. And you're an optimist, and I'm a pessimist on this topic. And we will see. And we'll see what Israel does, by the way, in the meantime.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Israel.
Yeah,
That's
because
true.
they may just keep bombing Hezbollah and really tell us what they think about the deal. Dr. Nazee Moinian, expert extraordinaire. Thank you, my friend, for being with us.
On the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel is changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them. Not anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player's subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute. So you're still in it until the final whistle. Visit FanDuel.com. Get started now. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel.
21 plus select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 plus DCKYWY. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat. Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Maryland. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org. Call 800-327-5050. Massachusetts. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY in New York. Call 877-770-7867. Louisiana.
Visit FanDuel.com. Get started now. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel.